This team of 9 AI agents films your YouTube videos and automates your entire content generation process with just a few clicks. And I promise you, if you stick until the end of this video, you're gonna be blown away because you've never seen anything like it. This system starts by doing research on different topics and generating video ideas for you. You can then approve an idea or disapprove it and give the agent feedback so it can try again. Once you approve an idea, it will then go ahead and generate an entire script. And again, we have this human in the loop feature that allows you to try again with feedback. If you approve the script, it will then go ahead and generate a Heygen video of your AI photorealistic clone that looks and sounds exactly like you. I'm gonna show you an example in a second. It will then upload your video to YouTube as unlisted, and it will even go ahead and generate a thumbnail for your video. And if you don't like it, you can try again unlimited times. Once you find the thumbnail that works for you, it's gonna upload that to your YouTube video. It will then go ahead and generate a catchy title, a description that is SEO optimized, as well as tags for your video. And then in the end, it's gonna make your video public, and it will also add it to your database with all the video details. Now, this is the end outcome of this system. As you can see, this handsome guy looks exactly like me, but in fact, it's my AI clone. We trained it using Heygen and N8N labs, so it looks and sounds exactly like me. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but I'm gonna leave a link in the description of this video. Keep in mind that this video is only 40 seconds long, but you can use the agent to create 30-minute long videos or 20-second shorts. It doesn't really matter. It works both for long form and short form content. And also, we've only used 5 minutes worth of video to train this model and about an hour worth of audio. And here is the description that it created for me. As you can see, all the links are here. So this is my school link that you can click to go to my school. This is my agency and all that stuff. It also added some tags, but this looks pretty cool. I believe that this is the future of content creation, and as these tools get more advanced and more capable, you're gonna see more and more YouTube channels and personal brands being created and managed completely through AI, which is crazy. So this is a perfect timing for you to learn how to build these systems and how to go ahead and sell them to businesses. And today I'm gonna dive exactly into how this system is set up on N8N, node by node, and show you how everything works. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Yanis. Some people call me the AI Prophet, and I run an AI automations agency that builds done for you AI agent systems and automations for businesses. I also do one-on-one consulting, and of course I do run a school community where you can join and get access to this template, as well as all my other templates, get access to weekly live tech support calls, courses, and a lot more. If you're interested in any of those, there are gonna be links in the description. For now, let's dive in. So as you can see, this system has 8 lines of logic, and a perfectly reasonable question to ask is, Yanis, why haven't you included each line of logic into a separate workflow in N8N? And the truth, guys, is that 1, it's not necessary, and 2, it just looks way cooler this way. I'm gonna break down every single node in this build one by one. So let me just zoom in a little bit, and I'm gonna start with the trigger of this system. So what triggers this system is a message to our Telegram bot. If you don't know how to set up your Telegram bot, it's very easy. Just go on Google, type Telegram bot father setup, and it's going to give you a very clear set of instructions. Within 5 minutes, you're going to have your bot on Telegram, and with that, you also get access to your Telegram credentials, so you can connect your bot to N8N and use it as a trigger and also as a way to interact with your system. So this system triggers on message. There are other triggers as well, but they're not really relevant for us right now. And you have to keep in mind that your initial request to the agent inside the bot on Telegram, it should be something that prompts the agent to do research on a topic. For example, what are the 5 most trending news on AI right now? Or what are the 3 latest developments in OpenAI? Those are just some examples. It can also be something completely relevant to AI, maybe like sports related or business related. I'm just saying AI a lot because that's what I do. But anyway, so once your message comes in from the trigger, the second thing we do is we set up 2 different variables. The first variable that we set is obviously the content of the message that you just sent to your Telegram bot, because this is what will be used later on as input to the research agent. And we also set the conversation ID as a variable because we're going to need to use that in order to pretty much reference our specific thread of conversation to the agent so it knows where it's supposed to respond. Now, right after that, once we set those variables, you can see we go into an AI agent. So this AI agent here, if it opens, is a tools agent, and you can see the input is the variable that we set in the previous node. And let me just make this prompt a little larger so you can read it. You are a research agent. Your job is to research user-specific queries. Make sure that the news are recent. Today's date is now. And here is an example of how we want the agent to provide responses to us. And all this agent does, guys, is pretty much does research on the topic that you give it, and it comes up with different topics or video ideas. So you can then move on and perhaps choose one of them to make your content on. Now, this agent has access to only one tool, which is SERP API. If you don't know what SERP API is, it's pretty much like Google search. So it gives your agent the ability to browse the web in real time. Very powerful. In order to configure this, you're going to need an account on SERP API. So just go to Google, set up your account. It's free. Get your API key and come and connect it to N8N. And then as a brain, this agent is using Claude 3.5 from Anthropic. But before I tell you why we're using this model, let me just tell you why we're using OpenRouter. So OpenRouter gives you the option to connect every single LLM to your agents with a single click with one API key. And the reason this is useful is because we want to test and experiment between different LLMs, and this just saves us a lot of time. So this is why we're using it. Now, regarding the reason why we're using Claude 3.5 instead of GPT-4 is because from my experience and my team's research, what we found is that when it comes to conversational LLMs, Claude 3.5 is the best that exists in the market as of now. So whenever you want your agent to talk or write like a human writes, or whenever you want your agent to replicate human-like conversation, maybe you're using it in a chatbot, this is the best model to use. Now, moving forward, we set the output of our agent in a new variable. And then here is where it gets a little more interesting. So this node is very special because it allows Telegram to respond to us in a way that gives us the opportunity to provide feedback on its specific response. And then we can get that feedback and do something with it. So if I click here, as you can see, this is again connected to my Telegram account. The resource is message and the operation is send and wait for response. So this is the node. Here is where we use the chat ID just so we can reference the specific conversation we're having with the bot. And here is where the output of this agent goes, which we also stored in a variable. So it goes right here, and it's basically the response that the agent gives us inside Telegram. So this is how it's going to look like for you guys. This is how it looks for me as well. There is no option to append N8N attribution for this specific node, unlike a send message node. But the reason it's so interesting is because instead of responding to our agent through the normal chat, we can just click on respond, open this link, and now we can provide our response here. And if we approve it, of course, it's just going to follow the approve line of logic. If we disapprove it, then it's going to take our feedback into consideration and it's going to make changes to it. Now, this is a node right here. Let me just show it to you. So if I click node and then I search for Telegram and then I search for wait, it's the send message and wait for response node. But anyways, now let's move forward to the text classifier. So the text classifier pretty much takes the response that we provided to the agent in this text box right here. And then based on that, it can decide whether or not we approve the agent's topics, or if we disapprove it, it can try again. So let me make this a little larger so you can read it. So this is for the approve. The output has been reviewed and accepted. It usually includes phrases like I like the topic, number 2, or continue with this topic, or let's proceed. And then the disapprove prompt, it says the output has been reviewed, but the human requests modifications like tweaks, removing parts, rewording. This could include suggested edits, rewording, or major revisions. We also give it some examples. And this way we're almost able to filter which response goes to the approved line and which goes to the disapproved line. Now, let's say that the agent gives us 5 different topics on, whatever domain we ask it to do research on, and we don't like any of them and we want the agent to regenerate its response, or let's say we want the agent to give us 2 more options, then of course it's going to be disapproved, and then it's going to go into the topic iterator. And this one takes as input the results from the first research agent, and it also takes as input your feedback, and then based on those it does research again considering your feedback, and it comes with a new output. So the prompt of this agent is very similar to the first one, and it's probably going to keep going and going again until you end up with a result that you're comfortable with and you want to approve, and then it's going to go to the approve line, and it's going to then go to generating a script for your video. Now, the text classifier node is using Deepseek R1 as a reasoning or thinking model. The reason is because it doesn't actually require any heavy lifting or a lot of IQ. It's a very simple job, realizing or understanding whether or not the user approves of this or disapproves it, like a 5-year-old can do it. Now, moving forward, let's say you approve topic number 2 and you want to move forward with it. What this node does right here is it pretty much decides or helps the agent know or helps the system know that based on the 5 topics that it generated for you, you want to move forward with topic number 1. So this is the response that you provide to the agent, and this is the input of or the output of the agent before. And then this agent pretty much decides, okay, so you want to move forward with topic number 1, and it outputs the specific topic. So your job is to tell me which topic the user prefers, give only the topic and nothing else, and we also give it some examples. And the reason we just want to get 1 topic out of 5 or 10 topics that the agent generates is so we can then go and do additional research on that 1 topic and craft the script for the video. So this is what this 3rd or 4th agent in the system does. It generates the script for our video. So if I click on it, again, it's a tools agent, and the input of this agent is the output of the previous agent, meaning the topic. And as you can see, let me just make the prompt a little larger. You are a video script writer specializing in automation agencies. Create concise, engaging scripts between 30 seconds and 1.5 minutes that guide aspiring entrepreneurs through starting and scaling their automation businesses. Of course, if you're getting this template or if you're rebuilding this agent, you can make it be tailored to your specific topics or write in a specific way. And also, if you want your scripts to be longer, you can change it here. So it can be a video that is 10 seconds long or 30 minutes long. Obviously, keep in mind that the longer the video is, the more credits you're going to have to pay to Heygen. Now you can see the instructions right here. The user provides a topic, for example, how to pitch automation services or top tools for workflow automation. Do not ask for clarifying questions. Proceed immediately to research and write. Then the agent does additional research to gain more information on that specific topic. And then we also give it a format on how we want the agent to script our videos. And the reason we want to craft the script first, guys, is because then we want to give that script to Heygen, and Heygen is going to generate video and audio based on that script. So the entire logic of this system is kind of very smart almost, because first it helps you come up with ideas for content. You can make feedback-based changes. Then if you decide which one you want, it generates the script and then it sends it to Heygen. But anyways, let's go back. And by the way, as you can see, these agents again are using 3.5 Claude. And then this specific agent that also does research is using SERP API. Again, that's the only tool he has access to. Then once the agent generates the transcript, we set it in a new variable. And we also set the caption or the title of that transcript in a new variable as well, just in case we want to use it later on. And then this is the same human in a loop process that we've seen before. So I'm not going to go through it again. The logic is exactly the same. One thing I do want to touch on is that we're using an output or structured output parser for this node right here, because we wanted to always give us its response in a specific way. So if I click here, you can see the spoken text. So this is the text that the agent is going to say, or Heygen is going to convert to speech. And then here's also the caption for the social media post as well. Now, let's say that you disapprove the script. Of course, it's going to go again and try again and make feedback-based iterations to it. If you do like it and you're not such a pain in the ass to work with, then the agent is going to move forward and is going to generate the Heygen video. Now, another reason why this system is so smart is because before we generate any Heygen videos, we want to make sure that we craft the perfect script for us. So every time you craft a script, the agent is going to send you a message on Telegram showing you what the script is so you can read it and approve or disapprove it. And then that way, when the time comes to generate the video, you're already satisfied with the script and you're not going to waste credits on Heygen, which are quite expensive, generating the video that you're not going to end up liking. So if you approve it, we set the transcript as a new variable. So this is a transcript that the agent has generated for you. And then here is where we're getting a little more complex. We're also setting as variables the API key from Heygen, the voice ID from Heygen, and the avatar ID from Heygen as well, just so we can then use those variables inside an HTTP request and make an API call to Heygen asking it, hey, I want you to generate me a video using this avatar ID, using this voice ID, using this transcript, and let me know when it's done. But if you want to get your Heygen credentials, then you have to go to your Heygen account and then go to space settings and then API. So this is where your API key is located. So you copy this one and you replace it with this one right here, which is mine. The voice ID, as you can see, this one is located right here. So you go back to Heygen, AI voice, and then you can find your voice ID if it ever loads. Here it is. So just click here, get voice ID. So this is my own voice that we've trained on 11 Labs, and then we integrated it from 11 Labs to Heygen. The only reason we did it this way is because 11 Labs is better. And then for your avatar ID, you can see right here that I have my avatar right here, Yanis Long Johnson, and you bet Yanis has a Long Johnson. And then I copy the avatar ID from here, and then I paste it right here. So this is how this works, guys. Now, moving forward, we can again grab these variables and then make an HTTP request to Heygen. So this is a URL you're gonna need to send a post request to if you want to generate a video using Heygen from a different platform using their API. So you can see the headers are X API key, and then the API key is of course the one that you stored in the variable previously. Then this is the body right here, JSON, specify body using JSON. And here is how it looks like. So we use the avatar ID, the transcript from the previous node that we set as a variable, and also the voice ID. So this is how we make a post request to Heygen. And then we set a new variable, which is the video ID. And you're going to get this variable once you run this node right here. And the reason we need this video ID is so we can reference the specific video that Heygen is generating for us, so we can retrieve it later. So this is a different HTTP request that we make to Heygen again, just so we can get the status of the video that we want to generate. So this is where the ID comes into the picture. So this is a URL you want to use this time. This is a GET request because we're trying to retrieve information, no authentication, video ID, and then the name X API key. And here we're using your API key from Heygen. Now, the way this system is configured, or at least this part of the system, we call Heygen and we ask it to generate the video for us. Then we get the video ID and we check to see if the video was actually generated before we try to download it. Sometimes, maybe after 100 runs, like 1% of the time, this will say that the video was generated, but it's actually still being generated. So for that reason, we have a fail-safe, or let's say a safety mechanism that actually checks the URL that we get from this node as a response, and it checks if it's not empty, then it proceeds forward because it means that there is content there and the video is done. Or if it's empty, then it tries again. It waits like a minute or 45 seconds to make sure that we give Heygen enough time to complete the result. And if it doesn't, then it just keeps trying again until we have a result. Now, when we have a result, meaning when a video is successfully generated on Heygen, then what we want to do is we want to download that video. And to download it, we make another HTTP request, a GET request to Heygen using the URL of that specific video that we retrieved from this node right here. And then once we download the video, then we send the video on Telegram, just so the user, me in this case, or you can go ahead and see the video and decide if it's something that you like or don't like. Now, to be completely frank with you guys, this specific line of logic, the generate Heygen video, doesn't have a human in a loop system, simply because even if you don't like the video, since the script is the same, if it tries again, it's just going to end up with the same end outcome. So it's going to be the same person with the same voice saying the same script. So it's not really necessary here. We could have added it, but we just didn't bother. It's also going to make the system way more expensive to run. But anyway, so it sends us the video. You really have only one option here to approve it or just stop the process. So you can approve the video with a message here, so approve or decline, and then whatever you say goes into a switch. Of course, if you disapprove it, it doesn't do anything. If you do approve it, so if the approve button is equal to true, then it moves forward. So it goes ahead and it uploads the video to YouTube as unlisted. Now here we have to download the video again. So again, we're making an HTTP GET request to that specific URL that we retrieved from Heygen, and it downloads the video on the N8N cloud. And then from there, we're uploading the video to YouTube. And for this one, you're gonna need to have set up your own YouTube API keys and your credentials. So I'm not gonna cover how to do this in this video. Now, one thing that is interesting is you can see we're setting some mock title, mock description, and mock details for the video. Don't mind those. We're going to be changing them later when we go ahead and we update the video title, the description, and tags. Now, once the video is uploaded to YouTube, then what we want to do is go ahead and generate a thumbnail, or this is what the agent does for us. So this agent right here, it takes in the topic of the video as well as the script, and it converts the entire script into a prompt for an Apify actor that is running Flux AI, I think it's called. Let's just open it and see. Yeah, I think it's running Flux AI as a model that generates images, and we're converting the script that the previous agent put together into a prompt, so we can then use that prompt inside this actor to come up with our image. And the reason we don't want to give it the entire script as a prompt is because if the prompt of text to image generation tools is too long, then it just won't work. And as you can see here, these are some of the details. Your specialized prompt engineering agent focus on creating precise prompts for AI thumbnail generation tools. Your task is to convert YouTube video topics and scripts into clear, detailed prompts that will generate compelling thumbnails. And we have put a cap of maximum 20 words. This is, from my experience, what I found works best with this specific image generation tool. And to be completely honest with you guys, this is not the best image generation tool that exists on the internet, actually far from it, but it was the best one that I could find on Apify that also, allowed us to use it with API. If you know any better prompt or image generation tool, then you can just use that one, to be honest with you, and get much better results. Here is how an example of these images that this system generates look like. They're pretty crappy, to be frank with you, but it's completely automated, guys. What do you expect? Like, maybe in a couple of years, we're gonna see like some major breakthroughs in this domain, or maybe some of this content creation tools or image generation tools that already exist are just going to have, APIs available so people can use them. So again, for this prompt engineering agent, we're using OpenRouter and Claude 3.5. We could have used 4.0 for this one. Doesn't really matter because it just crafts a prompt. Maybe 4.0 would be better here. And then we store the prompt as a variable. So this is the output of this agent. And then we also set the credentials of our Apify actor as variables so we can then use them to make an API call to Apify. So if I click here, you can see this is the API of Apify. To get that, you go to your settings here and it's going to be somewhere there. You just paste it. And then on top of that, we get the actor ID, which I believe is located here in the URL. So this part of the URL of an actor is the ID of the actor. And then we also get the JSON of the actor right here. So just copy and paste this one right here, and then replace the prompt with the output of the agent that we set as a variable before. Now, the reason we're storing the API credentials into different variables and not directly like plugging them into the HTTP request node is because it just makes it much easier for us, and it also makes it less likely for us to make mistakes. And also, if we want to change, let's say, the actor, use a different one or whatever, then, or even before with voice ID and the face ID and all that, it just makes it much easier, guys. Now, this node makes a post request to the specific Apify actor. So this is a URL you're going to need to use. And here in this part of the URL, you're going to need to replace whatever exists there, which is probably going to be nothing, with the actor ID that you just pasted in the previous node. And then here are the headers. So content type, application JSON, authorization, bearer, space, and then this is going to be the API key that you have on your Apify account. And then body content type JSON, using JSON. And then this is just the JSON that you stored in the previous node right here, which pretty much clarifies the Apify actor how to run. Really, that's all it does. Now, this module right here, this node, make.com calls them modules, N8N calls them nodes. They really are the same things. But this module right here makes the post request to Apify. The next one makes a get request to Apify because we want to see whether or not the actor finished running. So you can see wait for finish. Then you can see all the details, guys, right here. I'm not going to go through them again. But essentially, the idea is that we want to run the actor, and then we want to make sure it's completed its run before we try to retrieve whatever data it came up with. Otherwise, it's not going to have any data for us to retrieve, and the system is going to fail, and then we're going to run into errors. So once the actor gets completed, then we retrieve the dataset ID from this node right here. And then we make another HTTP request to Apify again, which is a get request. And this time we're using this URL right here. Hopefully you can see it, which is pretty much the API call for retrieving data from an actor run. This is how, it's called on Apify really. But all it is, hey, like this actor completed my request of generating this image. Now I want to get this image. So this is how it knows which image you're talking about, through the dataset ID. Of course, again, we have a safety mechanism. It works the same way as the previous one. Maybe sometimes this is not the most reliable method. It says that the actor was completed while the actor is still running. So in that case, just so we don't experience any errors, it's going to go through the switch. It's going to come through the false line. It's going to wait a few seconds, and then it's going to try again and again and again until everything is set up. Now, once we finally retrieve the data from Apify, meaning the URL of our image, then we're going to go ahead and download that image. So we make a get request. We use the URL of that image, and it gets it downloaded on N8N. And then we send it to ourselves, or using our WhatsApp bot to ourselves, so we can review it. And if we don't like it, again, we have this human in the loop process. For whatever reason, this shouldn't be there. Okay, now it's fine. And then of course you can make changes to it again and again and again. So moving forward, once you finally decide that you want to move forward with this thumbnail, then it uploads it on YouTube. In order to do that, we have to download the thumbnail again. And in general, guys, if you're wondering why we're constantly downloading and downloading again the same files, it's because N8N doesn't have a way to know that a file has been downloaded before. You can only reference a downloaded file if it comes from the previous node. So this is like a weakness of N8N, let's say, but it doesn't really bother us. We just download it again. And then we make an HTTP request to YouTube so we can upload the thumbnail to our specific video using our video ID. So the video ID comes from this node right here, and we are leveraging it in an HTTP request to upload that image that we just downloaded. So this is how this, this node is set up. Now, if you're wondering why haven't we used a native node inside N8N for YouTube, I don't think it has a native, let's see, thumbnail. Yeah, so you cannot upload a thumbnail to your video through N8N. This is why you have to go like the custom HTTP route. So once we have the thumbnail uploaded to our YouTube video, now it's time to generate a title for a video, a description, as well as tags. And then of course we have that human in the loop process as well. So here is where we set the transcript or the variable again. So this is pretty much the script of the video. And then it all goes into this agent right here, which has the sole purpose of generating a video description. You can see it can also include links. So here's where I reference my school community, shameless plug, go ahead and join it. It's great. We're doing live tech support. So, whenever you're trying to build a system and you run into a problem, we're just one click away. Also included my agency's links as well and all that stuff. If you also want to work with me one-on-one, there's gonna be a link in the description. Ideally, I prefer to work with software engineers or people that have a solid foundation of development skills that are interested in monetizing their skills. So if you need help getting clients, growing your business, selling AI automations, I'm your guy. Use the link in the description. Going back to the prompt of this agent, you can see some of the instructions on how we prompt the agent to craft our description and the details of our video and all that. Yeah, that's pretty much what this does. And then we set it as a new variable. Again, we are using SERP API for research and Claude 3.5. We're using a structured output parser again because we want to output the data in a specific way so we can upload it on YouTube. This is again the human in the loop process that we've seen like 4 times before, so I'm not gonna get into it. If you're satisfied with the results that the title, description, and tag generator agent came up for you, then you can just approve it. It will then go ahead and upload everything inside this Google Drive right here. So you have a database of all the details of your video. It doesn't track views and likes and comments. We can make it do that if you really want to, honestly, but it doesn't do it. And then, last step is just updates your video with the new information. So, pretty much we say here, hey, this video with this ID, change the title of it to this one, change the description of it to this one, and change the tags to this one. And of course, all those variables came from this AI agent right here. And then it also makes the video public, as you can see, so other people can see it and comment on your video how sexy your AI agent clone of yourself looks like. That was the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description if you're interested in working with me or getting this template, and I'll see you in the next video.